welcome to Follow Everton. I'm Ryan, and today I've got Amy with me to preview our game against Newcastle United. Amy, first and foremost, how are you doing?
I never say I'm good, do I? There's always some sort of problem that I have. I'm fine, apart from the bronchitis and the broken arm and all the rest of it, but I'm good. How are you?
What do you mean broken arm?
I slept on it weird, and now it lifts up to about this high. I can't get it like ow, like that hurts.
And how's the bronchitis?
Itising, I suppose. I got antibiotics again for a second lot, so it's still not filling it up. I know.
Every single person on this channel's got some sort of medical problem. I've got my neck issue here that's been going on for a while. Chris has got his cough. You've got your bronchitis. I won't go on with the others. I think it's not fair, but everyone's got something wrong with them, including this guy here I'm about to bring in. No, it's not the Messiah. It's a very naughty boy. It's Jan, who is leading the Jews back to Israel for the second coming, as they say. It's the Messiah himself. Jan, how are you?
Pass.
Right, okay. That'll do. Right, let's welcome everyone in the comments. Thanks for coming on. We've got our friends here, David. We've got Domino. Someone called him Domino Christopher Lewin last night. That made me laugh. The Blues, Emma Jones, welcome. And yeah, that's it for now. But we've got 20 watching just straight away. So thanks for coming on. I'm sure the numbers will increase. And if you're watching back,
I wanted to let my hair down. Well, it was just down anyway. Because if I tie it back,
fabulous.
I look like the stereotypical Victorian bloody devil.
Leave it down. Leave it down.
Yeah.
It puts me to shame though. Like now, I want to put mine up. Like that is some luscious locks.
Thank you.
He spends his life brushing it.
Yes. So most of the time, I just tie it up and pretend like I care about it and really don't. So yeah, I think it's the same for my hair as it is for Everton. Pretend like I don't care when I do. Yeah.
Have we all seen the press conference today, Amy?
No.
Yes.
No.
You meant to say, Jan, you might have told you. I said, if this ever happens and you've not seen it,
just lie.
Just lie. No, I'm only joking. Amy and I have seen it, so you can come in and give your thoughts. And I kind of like that actually, that you can react to what we've seen and what we've witnessed.
Well, that's what
the guys in the comments love the hair, and Jeff saying he doesn't have any health issues at the moment. Let's hope, touch wood, it stays that way. Certainly has a bit of Everton blues. Yeah. No, he's just a realist. He's numb to it now anyway, so he would say. So let's start off with the Sean Dyche press conference today. Have we, Amy, you saw it. He went in straight in with the team news question. Yeah. And he said that he'll make a decision on Coleman and Onana. Do you think that's a little bit of mind games? I mean, Onana apparently has been training since last week.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
I think he's just being careful. Again, more than anything, he probably doesn't want to give them an all-out team for them to know exactly what they're dealing with. Like, I don't think we'll see either of them. To be honest, he's not one to rush him back, is he? So I think that gives us the option to have Decore and Garner. Decore, Garner and Garner together. Because I don't want to lose James Garner yet either. So
let's hold that thought about the James Garner. We're going to come to that. Yeah, just on what Amy has said there. Are you surprised that he wasn't so, forward and saying?
No, he's playing games with I'm going to just keep it as short and concise as possible. He's playing games with a team that are performing much better than us, and if we don't do everything perfectly, they could spank us. So he's playing games with them so that they're not fully prepared to set up. But also, Onana has played carrying an injury, so it might well be that he's got the physical type or the resilience where he can do training without exerting himself to the same level that he does in the match, but might not be match fit. But he's pushing for that kind of fitness. It depends what he wants and what Dyche wants and what. Yeah.
Sean Dyche has clearly got quite a high threshold for fitness and what he declares and what he sees as match fitness and what he sees as medical fitness. So I personally think other managers would have had Onana in the team against Who did we just last? Who did we last play? Crystal Palace. It was that boring. It was so forgetful. Crystal Palace, another manager with 2 days training, perhaps someone like David Moyes would have just chucked him in. But I think Dyche is looking more towards the bigger picture in these last 6 games and thinking he's going to be pivotal against Leicester and in the other games as well. But hopefully he is match fit. Hopefully Onana is fit and can have a part. And more importantly for me, Seamus Coleman as well, because I think these fullbacks, this is horribly. I describe them as the most technically and tactically inept fullbacks we've had in the Premier League era, but we've had some bad ones. Cucu Martinez springs to mind. Sort of stinks there. But one of those really where you just need your best players available, and Seamus clearly this season is one of the top performers. Just quickly in the comments, the Mighty Blues. Hi Cam, hope you're well. In the comments, we've got Jeff watching from the channel and several others. Thank you so much for popping in. Okay, so other than that, in terms of the team news from Sean Dyche, he did mention Andros Townsend is back on the grass again. Will we ever see him, Amy? Will we see him in a blue shirt again before the end of the season?
No. I think that injury, unfortunately, that will be his last time playing. Maybe not ever, but for Everton, yeah. I think the physicality of the Premier League, and I'm sorry to say it, the physicality of the Championship, if that's where we're looking, is far too much for him to come back into. It's a shame as well, because we could do with someone, just someone fresh in the squad.
I loved the comments from BBC Radio Merseyside's very prominent sports person. I don't know what the word is, but the voice is distinguished. Yeah, the voice is distinguished. You know exactly who it is. And he said to Sean Dyche, he said, the crossing needs to improve. And Sean just jumped straight in and went, does it? Does it? Does it? And before he could even finish his sentence, and it was the quality of the cross that obviously is very important. The quality of the crossing, certainly from the likes of Michaelenko and Godfrey and Iwobi, that Gray even.
Just say Everton. Just say Everton.
Yeah, but Neil can deliver a good ball. And James Garner can deliver a good ball. But Andros Townsend there, Amy, is one. Don't want to deliberate too much on a player who hasn't played for us in over a year. Probably won't play for us again. But he is one that actually you would want available and can cross the ball and can deliver with both feet. So
it's that issue that he's been out for so long. Could he cross the road? Never mind a ball now. Like, you just don't know, really, with that lack of match sharpness as to whether or not it's worth throwing him in there for such important games right at the very, very end, where every result matters.
His delivery's so good, he's been snapped up by Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime. Also, just very quickly, we reached 2,000 subscribers on the channel this morning. We flew past that. I think we got about 20 new subs from that video me and Chris did last night, which is fantastic.
Was it an angry video though, Ryan?
No, it was just a good video. We were reacting to the Leeds Leicester games, and we just kept talking. And then I had to go to bed because it was late here, and Chris kept everyone entertained. It turns out we have a lot. We had about 70 people watching at midnight, and we've got quite a lot of viewers who were in Australia and America and other places. So that was fantastic. I know. There's a lot of fantastic Everton channels. Cam in the comments, the Mighty Blues has a fantastic one. Obviously, you've got Toffee TV, Blue Boys Network, and our friend Everton Roast. So I know there's lots of great choice. I'm sure you watch all of them as I do, and I'm sure most of our viewers do. But thank you so much for supporting us. It means a lot, doesn't it, guys?
Yeah.
Whereas I barely watch these channel videos.
Yeah. If you're not on one, you don't watch it. Just assume you've heard it all before. Certainly if it's Jeff. Only joking. We've had a look at the Everton team there. So pretty much as you'd expect. Decore also comes back in though, Jan. He's served his 3-match suspension for the flick. Oh, I've got something in my eye. As you said. So Everton I think in my heart we were at full strength here. I really do. I'm not buying into the Dyche nonsense. I think that Onana's fit. He just doesn't want to be. He wants to sit on the fence. If he says he's match fit and he doesn't play him for another reason, there might be a bit of an outroar there. So I think they're available.
Knowing Everton's luck, we always have this thing where a player comes back and then gets injured again. So it might be that he's not saying he's fit and then throwing himself under the bus.
There's still enough time. There's still 24 hours to get injured. As Amy, what odds do you give me on Calvert-Lewin getting injured between now and Thursday?
Is DCL still fit?
Even
he's match fit. Dyche seems really positive about him.
If he's got to go and do his big shop today, he's slipping over in the aisle as far as I'm aware. Like, I still have no hope. He did do his full 90 though, didn't he? So
we've got to give him some respect. Someone yesterday said he was Andy Carroll in a bra. I mean, we can't have comments like that on the channel. We definitely shouldn't have just read that out. But he is Jan's reaction there. He's a massive player for us, isn't he? And to have him available, as Sean Dyche described, he's getting fitter and fitter. He had 90 minutes under his belt. He actually put that down to Jan. He put that down to the lack of intensity and the tempo against Palace. A game where he said Everton should have done better, perhaps. The tempo wasn't quite there, but that suited the likes of Calvert-Lewin, didn't it? In getting him up to speed and getting a full 90 minutes.
When you say it suited him on his current physical condition. But I'm sorry, but it's not going to wash with me. Like there were times in that match where it was so frustrating to watch it, knowing that we could push on and turn it up a gear, or we had the potential. But then again, we didn't. We didn't. I say all these, we could have done this, and we didn't. And it was so frustrating to go, what are you doing? It's like watching a fixed fight when the clear boxer that's on top is just not going for the open punch when the guy's just ducked and dodged and put his head. He's there. Hello. And we're going, well, hi, Mum. What the fuck are you doing?
Captioned this. Very good analogy. And what I will say is, by the way, just while Jan's having a moment, we've got 2 job openings at the moment. We need someone who's going to tie themselves for the goalposts tomorrow night. Just stop Ukraine war. That'll be Jeff, I think. And last game of the season, we need someone to turn the power off at Goodison so that the match is postponed 20 minutes so we can find out what result we need and have a little private pact with Bournemouth. And if we both need a draw to stay up, that we'll honour that draw and play it out. We'll just do something.
Also, I'm row B tomorrow in the Park End, so if Jeff can't get himself over all the chairs quick enough, I can be straight out there. So if you need a secondary for goalpost time purposes,
it. Amy's right on the front. Amy, I was going to ask you to show us what you've got, but I don't want you to get caught. I suppose you're not on a season ticket anyway, so.
Excuse me, it's not that kind of channel, Ryan.
You can hear me knocking all my stuff over on my messy desk.
Mr. Nobody's just literally called it straight out. They're for pre-match use only in a back garden.
Yeah,
absolutely. Back to the press conference then. Sean Dyche said that he was asked about the coach welcome, Amy, wasn't he? And he said that the welcome is great. It's what they've organised with the fan groups who've been amazing. But bus welcomes can't win us games.
Yeah.
But that being said, it should definitely lift we need something to lift the atmosphere. I mean, I wasn't there at Fulham, fortunately. But if it was anything like some of the other games I've been to recently, where it's felt more of a flat, nervous crowd, which is what I was told it was like, we need something to get the fans up.
Yeah,
we need something to get the players up.
The coach meet isn't necessarily about the players themselves, really. It's about us. Like, we've been so nervous, so stressed recently that the atmosphere hasn't been the best it's ever been. It was really, really flat and then turned very, very toxic at Fulham. All for a very good reason in my book. Like, I'm not slating anyone at all for the fact they weren't on top of the chairs singing, dancing when we were that dreadful. Of course I'm not. But I don't know, a coach meet, as soon as you've got a pyro in your hand and if you like a drink, you've got a drink down you.
Any excuse to get a pyro going for you, Amy.
When you stood there chanting Everton songs with everyone, you're going to get into the mood for it, aren't you? And I love it going in painted blue. Like, I've got face paint if we all want to paint ourselves blue.
Amy's exactly what we need in Goodison Park. Not fans like me who are fed up and can't motivate themselves and are going out of sheer loyalty. We need fans like Amy who are glory hunting for the championship title next season. Yeah.
That's why Mr. Nobody knows how to set fire to people. I set fire to him on the United coach meet. I burnt a hole in his jacket with my flare. That's what that backstory is. Sorry, Mike.
Is that what you did to Mike?
Yeah.
I do have to. Brilliant. Sorry, I've got to say here, by the way, Mr. Nobody's made a point that there are, and it's made the difference that especially last season, there are fantastic movements in the fans for having the banners. Yeah, we've been going to every home game. We've been selling out our allocation on away games, and people are saying we need to turn up support the team. We've been doing it all season. Let's have it right. Yeah, we have. right? And I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that. Yeah, fuck it, I'll play on the wing.
Do the players deserve another heroes welcome boasting? Because I felt very uncomfortable about that last season.
They might not deserve it, but they need it because we deserve it. This is our club. And whether it's been trickled down and we're talking about the board and the chairman and press releases, or whether we're talking about poor recruitment or changes in managers, anything, all that lumped together that's led to the cluster that is our current situation, everything has a knock-on effect on their mentality, maybe not training on a Mondays under a previous manager. All this kind of stuff has had the cumulative effect that we're in the situation we're in now. But these players have the capability of fighting, of doing something, and we need to push that and demonstrate it and galvanize them and show that we're still going to support them. But so what Mr. Nobody said, and that there are plenty of fans. This is not about the away fans. The away fans go and they're absolutely bonkers. But there are plenty of fans in the home stand, at Goodison, when we're at home, who go, we get a little bit dejected, we're on the back foot, we don't have possession, we get caught out, or there's a goal and stuff like that. And there's maybe 30 seconds, a minute of cheering after that. But then they just sit there miserable. Now, I have times like that where I'm miserable because we've been through this, not just last year and for 12 months or 18 months, but we've been through this for, aside from a brief break in the early 2000s, we've been through this for 30 years.
If some of these older fans have been given, if they've been given a big slice of cake every single day for 10 years, and then all of a sudden they give you the small little toppings off the top of the cake instead of the actual cake, how would you feel? That's how the fans, the older fans, have felt that, they've seen us do things, they've seen us have success, and then all of a sudden they can't get themselves excited for these things anymore. For some of it, because you're used to seeing a successful team. The younger fans like us, I'm 30 this year, and
don't put yourself in the young bracket. What are you talking about?
I've never
Can
seen
you
us
stop
win
talking
anything.
about age? Because I'll be 36 very soon. Thank you very much.
You
Amy.
can still be playing. Jagiel can still play at 40, 41. What I was going to say was that we just used to being shy, but even still, we can't get ourselves up for it. But the whole coach welcome thing is fantastic that they've been able to set this up again. I don't know whether it is desperate times. I don't know whether it is out of safety for the players who would be coming in their cars. But either way, it's a good opportunity to try and get the atmosphere going again before the game and in the ground. And if that helps us in the long term, then it is very important. But as Sean Dyche did say,
it is desperation to an extent, but don't look at that as a negative thing either. It's like the desperation of going to a marriage counsellor before you get divorced. Like, you're trying your best to make a good thing before it turns into a bad thing. So all we're doing is we're absolutely desperate to rescue this club. It's not the players, bar a few. It doesn't matter who plays for that team next season, really. We will still love Everton Football Club the way we love Everton Football Club for all of the reasons every single one of us do. All of us have very similar reasons. Our parents, our friends, our family, your own connection that you have with them. And I think that's what this is all about now. This is about saving the thing Everton Football Club is, not the actual squad full of players that can't drag themselves out of bed, never mind over the line. Because a lot of them don't have to fight for this battle again. But we do. And that's the difference, I think. That's what will hopefully keep us up again this time.
He did actually play down the importance of this game. He said, What did you make of that, Amy? It was like was he trying to play it down? Do you think? Was he trying to deflect away from how important it is? I mean, it is massive. He
doesn't want to sit there with a squad full of players that have no confidence whatsoever. They can't. Seamus Coleman said it himself. When they put the scores up, their heads drop. It doesn't push them to do better. They go, oh dear, we've really got to win this game now. And then they get stressed out. If you sit that squad of players down and say you need to win, they're all going to flap.
He's talked about that before, about taking the pressure off, so that obviously there's the pressure of professionalism that comes from playing in a competitive league, but they need to have that freedom to play. Now, if you could wipe the slate clean, if we could start, if it was the start of the season at every match, then all right. I'm sorry, I've got to go for 5 minutes or a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry.
Right.
I mean, he is the Messiah after all. He get a click out the street. Get off it. Get off it. No. Doctor, I'm an Evertonian and I'm not feeling too good at the moment. You know, team's getting relegated. Bless him. I love him. Right. I mean, we talked about the conference. Is there anything else on that press conference that you want to talk about?
I think he comes in late, doesn't he, so that he doesn't have to answer as many questions. I think he goes, fuck that. I'm not doing that today. And he just answers like 12 of the same questions in 3 questions anyway. It's always match fitness. Are we going to see Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which we don't have to ask anymore? Is Onana fit? Are you angry at Decore? Are you nervous? He's going to answer any of that.
Some of them are okay today, actually, to be fair.
It wasn't a beefy one, was it? There wasn't much to it. Oh, he asked about Gordon coming back, didn't he? And the players will be bothered by that noise surrounding that.
That's his favourite word, isn't it? Noise. Yeah. Noise at Man City, noise at Newcastle, noise at Everton, noise. If he's that bothered by the noise, put some earplugs in, because you're manager of a massive club. You're going to have noise, and the expectation's huge, and the fans deserve so much more. The club deserves so much more. What do you make of the Gordon thing then?
I can't wait to bully.
Do you want him to play?
Yeah. He's dreadful. Because I'm a jinx. I'm going to turn that around and say he's absolutely brilliant, and he's going to have an amazing game against us, because, you know.
I think if he's up against Mikalenko, I think he will tear him a new one, to be honest.
The nerds, it's not just Mikalenko he's up against. Like, I know technically running down that line, that is who he's up against, but he's still going to get through the likes of Decore. Tarkowski's there in the centre for him. He's got to get through a Wolby. These are people that, like, he's probably angered them as much as he's angered, not as much as he's angered us, but within a working relationship, they've probably thought, what a child. Like, they're probably miffed with him as much as we are, and I can't wait to see it. Because if anything, one thing we all love as Blues is having a cause to unite behind. One of them is Everton. The other is players who we absolutely despise. And Anthony Gordon will be that for us. He will help feed that Burr Pit atmosphere more than any other player who plays for Newcastle would.
Amy, you make great points, but I'll be honest, I'm apathetic towards him and I couldn't care less. He doesn't wind me up like some of the others would have, if I'm honest with you. And I think we got massive money for him, and if we'd have spent that well, like Bournemouth have, or like Southampton did with Carlos Alcaraz, for example, then Everton wouldn't be, even in this scenario, I don't think. I think we would have had a couple of extra wins and been comfortable with some extra signings. So it was our fault for not reinvesting it, and which makes me think, why the hell did we sell him? Well, we know exactly why we sold him. It was to appease FFP, same way we did with Richarlison.
It was also to appease him, though. Like, I'm not bothered. You don't... I
think we're clever at manufacturing our own scenarios at times.
Yeah, but when you get paid as much as he does to not even bother turning up to training. That fella of Sky Sports News, what's his name? Our dude who stands outside of Finch Farm. He was tracking him every day. Like, my sister used to track Father Christmas on the Santa tracker. Like, he wasn't turning up for training. He gave those snotty little interviews at the end of it all. He's got some level of narcissism that even most serial killers would be shocked by. Like,
that's your favourite word, isn't it? Narcissist. You say it on every video.
Though. He's so self-absorbed and self-obsessed. He is a little narcissist. Like,
a little narcissist.
He is.
Brilliant.
He thinks he kept us up last season when... I'm not going to say he didn't do his bits for us, but he certainly wasn't one of the players that kept us up. He had a few good games. Shut up, Anthony. Cop-eyed.
I think he was quite good at times last season.
He was all right.
I think he fell off a cliff this season. His performances fell off a cliff post-August.
Yeah.
He was terrible September, October. He was really bad during the World Cup. I mean, they all were.
Well, yeah. But I don't care about him. I hate him.
Because we didn't play any games. Only joking. I want to talk about... Everton's recent results then. Let's just have a look back at that. I don't have the technical skills of Chris, unfortunately. which is quite annoying. If Chris was in the background, he could so easily put this on the screen for me. But Everton drew 0-0 with Palace. 10 men, Everton actually. Let's try and keep 10 men on them. Let's try and keep 12. Let's try and keep 11 men actually on the pitch. 11 men, please, in this fixture for once, unlike last time we played Newcastle, which we'll come on to. Lost in horrible fashion to Fulham. It was tepid. It was flat. It was awful. 2-0 away at Man United, which was
awful
open football, really bad.
Holiday ruiner. Thanks, Everton.
Sorry, Amy, but that was away from Sean Dyche's principles. That Man United game in Fulham, very disappointed. He's not coped well with Doucouré, which is why I'll be glad to get him back. And the 1-1 draw with Spurs at home, on which we were the better team at, and if we should have won that game, looking back. And before that, the great point at Chelsea and the win at Brentford. And I thought after the point at Chelsea, I thought Everton were then going to kick on, get a win at Spurs, hold United to a draw, beat Fulham, not lose away at Palace, and be well and safe. So I'm disappointed, Amy, that it's gone wrong. Would you put it down to Doucouré's absence, or would you put it down to Sean Dyche said he felt like some of the players have gone, some of the stats or some of the things that we're doing, we're not doing as well anymore?
Yeah, I think after the new manager bounced, they've kind of fell back into old ways a bit. Some of them, we don't have like the level of confidence when our head drops and stuff like that. That never helps us. Striker output, obviously, even with Calvert-Lewin back, is still dire. And Doucouré is a big part of it. Dyche's Everton have relied a lot on Doucouré, and we have missed him since he's been gone. We missed Onana as well in the other game. I know he's not world class yet, but we do miss him. He does do bits in and around just because he's not
physical quality.
Yeah, he's not setting up assists, he's not scoring goals. Fair enough. He is a bit sloppy sometimes, but in that midfield role, he does hold quite a lot of weight, I'd say. That midfield three, our new holy trinity. I say that very sarcastically, but they do work well together, and I think they're missing each other. Bless them. It's like when your work bestie's not in, innit? Get a bit sad, not as productive.
I mean, I said it before, but during Ramadan was not a good period for us. The fasting of the players, it definitely had some sort of impact on their performances, because Garner couldn't play 90 minutes. I'm not saying that's the reason. It must be exhausting
for them. It must be.
Yeah.
It is for people who work office jobs. Like, I know I worked with some people who were fasting at the time, and they bless them, like, absolutely exhausted, just run down and stuff like that as well. So I couldn't imagine having such a physical job and still getting up and going doing that as well. Like, fair play to them for trying, I suppose. It just means that we need more squad depth to be able to cope with things like that, obviously. It's not their fault.
The Everton head chef, Amy, said that he was getting up at 4 a.m. to feed Garner and stuff in Manchester. So we've been trying to work our way around it, but definitely during that period, there's been a drop off. I'm not saying that's the reason, but I think not having the three of them together, because we were good against Spurs and we should have won, but we did the stupid from Doucouré, absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
And then I think losing those three players in that midfield has been a problem. And I'm certain now that against Newcastle, that Onana and Doucouré and Garner will be reunited. We'll come to team selection and we'll have a look at both sides as well. But let's just have a look at Newcastle's recent results as well. They're in fantastic form. They beat Spurs, who have subsequently sacked their interim manager. They beat them Spurs.
And refunded them all.
And refunded the fans.
Sat fifth in the league. They've had one horrific performance against Newcastle. Fair enough. It's a very long way. Could you imagine if we all started doing that? That's a terrible precedent, because they're going to want the money back every time they lose now when they go away. Because they're down south. They come up north and play a team and get battered. They're all going to be like, come on, Harry. Where's me taking money back?
It's a freebie. Yeah, I mean, they owe me about 700 quid then for this season if it's based on that. They lost to Aston Villa. This is a big game there. We'll come back to that, actually. Beat Spurs, lost to Villa 3-0, beat Brentford away, beat West Ham away very comfortably 5-1, beat Man United at home, revenge for the Carabao Cup final, and beat Forest away. So did us a favour there. You know, Newcastle, clearly very good. Third place in the league. They've bought well. The club's the unity is there between the ownership, the fans, the players. There's a clear drive.
They're very much enjoying the time as football fans right now, aren't they, I suppose? Boo.
They've never won anything. They haven't won any major trophy in like 50 years or something. But
we know though after the Carlo run that when you're doing that well in the league, it feels like you're winning something finally when you're doing so well. So maybe they'll actually bring fans tomorrow. That'll be interesting to see how many of them actually turn up. It'll probably be full for once. So
they've got momentum, and the unity is very important there, because when you've got that, you have belief, and when you have belief, anything can happen. So they will come to Goodison.
Confident is also a problem though as well. You walk into somewhere too confident, you get complacent, and that's what we need to be ready to jump on. Whether we don't need to control the possession or do anything fancy. We just need to be ready to control their attacks and do well on the counter, which is something that we're really very good at.
Amy, good point. Just want to go back to before I asked you about the tactical thing and team selection. You've hit the nail on the head there, by the way. They lost 3-0 to Aston Villa, who are flying. Is that just a one-off because Villa are doing very well, or just an off day for them? They didn't have many shots on target.
So that could have just, it is an anomaly when you look at the results in it, but that's something that needs to give us the hope that we know it can be done. No way are we performing to Villa's standards, especially not how well they're doing under Emery. The 5th now, aren't they? Like, wow. But there's hope there. They can be beaten, obviously, because they did get beaten. And apparently...
And we were better than Villa, I thought, on the day, until the penalty and all that nonsense. So, yeah, that wasn't an anomaly. Let's have a look at our team selection then, Amy. And actually, first, Everton's historical record versus Newcastle is 75 games won, 36 drawn, and 70 lost. They won the last 3... what was it, looking at 1888 or something there? I don't want to see that score. Irrelevant. They lost 1-0 to Newcastle earlier in the season. It was a drab affair. We looked like we could offer zilch. That was in October. I remember watching it very well and thinking, this is it. This is Everton. We are flat. We have nothing under Lampard. We are sleepwalking into relegation. We did beat them 1-0 the season before, though, Amy. This is an important game to just very quickly reflect on. We had 10 men. Iwobi slips it and returns it off Calvert-Lewin and scores. Good memories.
We had 11 with Lewis McKennie that day. Bless him. He's just got out of jail. I hope he's enjoying his time at home. True blue. Love him. We need not something exactly like that, but something that just gets us excited and gives us the opportunity. That extra 10 minutes really did save us that game, didn't it? The one I always think about with Newcastle is the 2-0 that became the 2-2 by the time we were all down the stairs. Like, that was absolutely insane. That's the worry we have with Newcastle. It's rare that we ever do very well against them, so I'm not very optimistic, obviously.
So just before that game that Amy's just reflected on, the 1-0 win, we lost 3-1 away to them in February earlier that year. That was literally we lost to them 3-1 away, and then we beat them at home like a few weeks later, which is mad. And then we lost to them at home 2-0, and we lost to them 2-1. So the recent sort of 6 games, and the previously was the draw under Carlo, which we were winning 2-0 until the last minute. So our recent record wasn't good, but before that, sort of from 2019 to 2015, we won, and drew. And before that, there was 1 loss, 1-1, 1 draw, 1. You know, we were comfortable sort of under Moyes, Martinez, and Marco Silva, and then it kind of fallen off a cliff in the last few years as we've declined and lost control and stability at home, and everyone under the league's got more money. The injuries for Newcastle, just in terms of their injury news, obviously, just very quickly, Everton, Ruben Vinagre is out for the season. We talked about Onana and Coleman.
He's been out the entire season anyway.
Yeah, they're in with a chance. Decore's back, Holgate suspended, Townsend, of course, is injured. For Newcastle United, they have Emil Kraft. He could return in June. Saint Maximin will be missing. That's a great thing to see, because he's a maverick, and he always seems to turn up against us and score us like
loves scoring against us, doesn't he?
Just very good against us. Fabian Schär is also injured, and Bruno Guimaraes is likely to return, unfortunately. He'll be okay. Fuck's sake. Ryan Fraser, don't care. That's annoying about Bruno. Hopefully he's not 100% right, though, in that midfield. Because
lack of match sharpness, again, always helps.
I think he played against in the last match and then got taken off, maybe with a knock. Don't know. Jeff is saying in the comments that Newcastle have returned half of the tickets and the top row of the the away sections for sale. I think I've also got a ticket for sale if anyone wants one for tomorrow night. Message me on Twitter at follow Everton.
In it out. We are as bad as we are right now, and I want 2 tickets for Wolves away. I'm not going to get them. I already know that I'm not going to get them because we sell it out every time. And they're doing as well as they are and they're sending tickets back. It's not even that far away. What? Why? Why aren't they? I know it's a Thursday night, like.
If we were third in the league, we would have half of the home section full of Blues.
We'd be outside. Someone would be streaming it illegally or legally. Someone with a Sky Sports subscription if it wasn't at 3 p.m. But someone would be streaming it on a big screen outside the stadium. Like,
that's some bad news.
That's the best news.
Oh, for God's sake.
He loves it, doesn't he? Oh! See, I'm not huge on cats, but isn't he gorgeous? Look at him.
He doesn't know why we're in here. He just knows that there's always chatting in here, and he just wants to be around the noise. The noise, that bloody noise around the club. Right, okay. Team selection, Amy, run tactics. This is the core open sort of section of the preview. Now we've done all like the formalities that I hope people like. And make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. We've just hit 2,000 subscribers. Let's go for 2,500.
Oh, sure.
Right. So team news tactics for Everton. For me, I think we need to, as you said before, how we handle Newcastle's attacks. When we do go forward with the ball, how can we shut out Newcastle to stop leaving ourselves so exposed? Because what I think we have done in the past against teams like Newcastle is when we've attacked, we've left the back door open all the time. We've always left that midfield overexposed. And that's why, despite some call for 4-4-2 perhaps, I want to stick with the 4-5-1. Unfortunately, I'm taking James Garner out my team. And I'm putting Amadou Onana in and Doucouré in, if both match fit. And I think that gets back to the basics of what Sean Dyche had been doing previously, which was the foundations for us actually picking up 3 wins and a few draws and looking good. Because I think he probably would take a draw in this game and go for broke against Leicester. Although we can't really afford to lose to Leicester. So maybe he goes for broke in this game and goes for a draw at Leicester and hopes they lose their games and we win our others. I don't know. Anyway, that's another conversation. I don't want to get too hung up on that because I'll just end up slamming my laptop down and getting depressed. But in that sort of thing, I personally think he'll go back to the 3 in midfield with those 3. I probably would do that. As good as James Garner has done in these games, in terms of he's built his confidence, certainly against Crystal Palace, although he didn't have many touches, I think 36 or something touches of the ball's not good enough. I think that's what I read. But what I've seen of James Garner, I think there's a player in there with potential, but I think he'll come out. I think he'll go for defensive stability, stop leaving the back door open and the midfield open in midfield for when the attacks break down, try and win the ball back in transition, press, win the ball back high at the pitch and punish any Newcastle mistakes and punish them if we do get any set pieces. And I think that's what we'll do. I don't think we're going to go and play open, expansive football. I think we'll play pretty much a compact mid-block to low block a mid-block, compact, squeezed up. We'll try and press them and win the ball back early and go from there and wait for Newcastle, hopefully, to make some mistakes and get some set pieces. So my team would be Pickford in goal.
The left-back situation.
I'll have Minanu's 95 at left back. No, I've got to play Mikaleko. And then into central defenders. Is there any point me suggesting Yerry Mina? It's going to be Michael Keane. To be fair, he was okay against Palace, but
he doesn't exist anymore. Yerry Mina, forget about him. He's gone.
There's rumours that we have to pay Barcelona 5 million if he makes 100 appearances and he's on 95. But in which case, he could still play 5 games. Maybe he'll play next game against Leicester and that'll be it. The last few games. It's going to be Keenan Tarkowski. It's going to be Mikalenko, and it's going to be. I'm praying Seamus. I think he was kept out precautionary in this Palace game, and I'm hoping and praying that he's available and that he'll be there for Leicester as well on Monday, and he can do it even at 34, 35 years of age. So if they're available, it's Coleman at right back. If not, it's going to be. I hate them all. But I'll just because you're here, Amy, I'll stick Nathan Patterson in just so to give you a smile. Midfield, Onana, Doucouré and Idrissa Gana Gueye. On the right, it's Alex Iwobi. 1 goal this season. That don't impress me much. McNeil, who's been our best player in this recent period. And up front, Dominic Chris-Lewis. That would be my team. Amy, have you got anything to change? Have you got anything to add? And tactically, and how to approach this game?
I'm completely inclined to agree. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm going to be all, let's go mid-block, low block, let's fuck. No, right. We're going to go in. We're going to control the game as much as we can. That's all we need to do. We need to be ready to be strong defensively, and that includes the midfield as well, which is why we need Onana and Gana Gueye in there together. Doucouré as well is quite good defensively. We need then to make sure that we can get forward at the same time as and when their mistakes allow us to. But there is by no means chance for us to get sloppy enough to go running around, hoofing balls, trying to press up for them to capitalise on our mistakes, because we cannot close ourselves down quick enough to close that midfield down. We're disastrous at it. On the break, we're awful. So don't give them an opportunity for that. Just stay compact, stay tight, and when we do have an opportunity, a goal-scoring opportunity, go for it. You only need one clear goal-scoring opportunity for that ball to go in the back of the net to be 1-0 up. You have 100 ways you can fuck up defensively and let them score 10. And it's unfair to keep relying on Jordan Pickford. It'll be a difficult game for him in terms of how the away fans are going to behave towards him. They're going to want to rattle him up. And I don't care how professional you are, how brilliant you are, you will end up slightly rattled in games like that. So he needs our defence to back him up rather than our defence consistently relying on him like they are doing recently. It just comes across to me that as soon as a ball goes past them, they don't even try. They just go, sweet Jordan will sort it. Don't let them do that anymore. I need them to do their jobs perfectly. And that includes Mikalenko, and that includes Patterson if he plays, but I do want Coleman to play.
We need at least 6 players to put in an 8 out of 10 performance against Newcastle, and we need the rest of them to at least be a 6.5 to a 7. We've got to be playing very well and on our game. We've got to have another Arsenal at home performance where we get the ball into the box. The 3 midfielders secure that midfield. The defence is squeezed up, narrowing the space between midfield and defence. The fullbacks are tenacious. Calvert-Lewin has got to have good movement and get to beat the centre backs of Newcastle and create some chances and flick-ons and head it in the net and that sort of thing. And we can do it. I think I've got some belief that we can have another repeat against Arsenal. I think in the night, I've got to say that I don't want to make people too miserable. Amy's spot on. A couple of tactical things. If we play too high of a line and don't press and don't squeeze, then they will play balls in behind to Isaac, into Anthony Gordon, the pacey players with good movement. They will get in behind. They'll punish us. So we have to, if we are playing a slightly more high line, maybe even a mid-block, we've got to press. We've got to be intense. We've got to be relentless. We've got to close them down. We've got to fight for 90 minutes. And I think that's going to have its toll on Monday's game, if I'm honest with you, because there's going to be a lot of energy required. Let's keep 11 men on the pitch, or 12 if just Oil Guy wants to go on there for a few minutes. But Newcastle are, they've got a very well-rounded game creatively. They can go in behind, they can go in front, they can shoot outside the box, they can play 1-2s, they can play and try. They've got a bit of everything because they've got good players. So we're going to have to stop them, as you said, Amy, control their game, get some good set pieces, win the ball back high at the pitch and punish them. And we've got to have good, strong performances from them to get from us to get a result. And we can go above Leicester and Leeds with a win. And I think then you go in there full of confidence. I think Leicester then maybe try and go for the game a little bit more and open it up and leave holes for us to exploit, hopefully on Monday. But this is a massive game, Amy. And have you got anything else you want to add?
It's a cup final game again, and every single one left is now a cup final game. Just make it moody, be loud, sing, shout, back the team all the way, and instead of there only being 11 men on the pitch, we will be the 12th person, because I'm not a boy. Make them play against 30-odd thousand of us rather than just playing against the 11 on the pitch, and just enjoy it for what it is. If this is going to be one of our last games in top flight football, then fight for it as much as we can do. And that's the best that we can do as fans, and hope to God that the players feed off it. We just need them to have strong performances like the Arsenal performance, like the Man City performance. I know it wasn't on stage, but that was brilliant. And just fight with all your might for the boys in the Royal Blue jersey.
A good 45 minutes where we're on our game and we did what we did against Brentford, but take the chances. And then I don't mind a 2-0 at half time, just sitting back. But I don't think that approach will work. I think Newcastle eventually will find a way. I've just completely contradicted myself, so ignore what I'm saying. Let's go to the comments before we wrap things up. Thank you to Jan, who dropped in before, for some of this preview, and wonderful Amy. Let's have a look at some of the comments that we'll get in here. Newcastle are going to have an all or nothing style thing on Netflix. I think Everton need to have one of them.
We do. They should have done it last season. It would have been hilarious.
You can laugh at it now. The canteen video was quite funny, where they were talking about the meals and the players. David's asking what channel showing it tomorrow. It's Sky. It's on Sky, isn't it? BT Sport.
It? Or is it BT?
Sport. I don't know. Can we get your match predictions, please, in the comments? What are you saying, Amy? What's your match prediction?
It's going one or two ways. We're either getting absolutely battered, or it's going to be a sneaky little Arsenal 1-0 again. I don't want to sit here and say how confident I actually feel. I don't know, because I'm a horrible jinx, and I don't want to jinx us right now. Head says Newcastle, heart says us.
Bless you. TJ Mid says, feel like shit. Just want Delph back.
Unless he's Man City, Delph, I want him nowhere near us.
Yeah, we had salsa classes on Thursday. Neil, he just wants Pickford. I'd have a team of 11 Pickfords on the goal line. That would do well.
0-4.
Jazz is behind me, rustling around in the landing.
I'm sorry.
Can you hear that? That's the strongest Scouse accent. Sorry. She's finishing off the cleaning, well, it looks like.
Tell her she's coming tomorrow. She's got no choice. I'll meet her at Thomas Frost whatever time.
What is Amy?
You've got to meet Amy at Thomas Frost tomorrow, but we're still live, so let's not have an in-depth chat with 51 people watching. You can speak in private.
What time she's getting there?
What time are you getting there, for God's sake?
3.
3.
Okay, I'll see you at 3.
Hey.
Love
oh my God. Love you.
This is meant to be professional. I thought I put in to make this show professional and got two girls having a little chat on stream in the background. Put Isaac in the front row. We need to get into them, don't we, Amy? We need to absolutely show that fight and that aggression in midfield, and that's what we have to do against teams that ultimately are better than us. Put your foot in, make it horrible, but it's controlled aggression. Let's keep 11 on the pitch.
Yeah. Important one. Queen Nikki has a birthday tomorrow. Everybody say happy birthday, Nikki.
Happy birthday.
She's brilliant.
Tomorrow, Nikki. Reese is saying 2-0 to Everton.
Oh, good one, Reese. I like his optimism.
Dave Weston. Amy's going to be leather tomorrow, yeah? And Dave, whilst she's at the ground, you'll probably be requested to come on for the pre-match chat because everyone is at the game. Rockstar saying, would James Rodriguez make an impact?
James.
In what way? To the finances, probably, on the pitch. Not so sure after 2 years not playing at this top level. 3 years a bit early tomorrow, isn't it, Amy? I think.
It's the point. I'm not watching another Fulham-like performance sober. It's no good for my mental health, everyone.
But you will end up doing something stupid and tying yourself to the goalpost.
Yeah, a fall down the steps or something. It'd be fine. Be like that United fan. It was on the telly the other week. You know, he fell proper down the steps when they were at Seville. It'll just be a laugh for everyone watching on BT Sport. It'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Dixie saying 2-1, DCL to score, 2 goals. That would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
2 whole goals?
2 own goals, more like.
I don't think Hammers is Dyche's cup of tea either.
TJ Mid, one of the biggest drop-offs has been losing Coleman.
I agree. How much did I used to stress about him coming in when Patterson very first got injured right on in the beginning of the season? I used to always say, oh, for Christ's sake, Seamus Coleman, he's ancient. How's this going to work? And he made me eat my words 3 games in. I miss him quite a lot.
He's very professional, isn't he? Neil Michaels, I think a dull 0-0 could be the best we can realistically hope for tomorrow. Would you take 6 0-0s, Amy?
No.
No, you wouldn't take 6 points.
No, I just don't trust that everybody else around us would have to lose for that to realistically help us out.
Watch our stream from last night that I did with Chris, and you'll see we looked at the other team's fixtures, and we think all 3 will probably end up on about 34 points, and it'll go down to goal difference.
Oh, brilliant! Because we can really score goals. Sound.
Would you, in the comments, take 6 0-0 draws now?
I don't want a boring victory for it. I want to see us do something that gives me faith for the season after this one. I'm starting to now panic about next season already.
It'll be more of the same.
Yeah.
It will be more of the same. The Blues are saying, I will snap your hands off for 6 points. Neil is saying 6 points won't be enough. We need 7 or 8. And Dixie's no chance. Dave saying, I think 36 points is what we have to aim for. We need 8 points, as Dave is saying, but it's going to be difficult. As you say, we need Leeds to take a hammering. We haven't forgotten Nottingham Forest could still find a way out of it, and even Southampton, because there's no teams that are particularly that badly adrift. Although they haven't looked good, and it seems unlikely. This is the most open relegation battle we've seen in a while. Wolves are out of it now, though, and I think that
did they confirm their safety yesterday? Yeah.
Well, it's not mathematical, but 37 points, along with Crystal Palace, you'd say they're both out of it. I do expect West Ham to also get over the line, and also Bournemouth, and hopefully Bournemouth will be on the beach in Mallorca or somewhere else by the time they play us, or it could run the other way, and both Wolves and Bournemouth, I've got no pressure on them and just turn up, and because they're probably better than us, turn us over. So, I think that's it. Neil Michaels is saying a 71% chance of survival is 34 points. 36 as a Novan will give you an over 90% chance of survival. Every league season is different, but traditionally 40 points would get you there. I don't think we'll need that this season. It's a good job.
40 points. You've not needed that for years now. There was one season where you needed 35 points to stay up. 29 was one season as well. Ridiculous. Was it 29? It was something ridiculously low that got you safety one season anyway, because me and my dad was both like, that can't be right. So
maybe
that
it's a famous finger point. Right. I think that's it from us. Thanks for joining us for the preview. We want a big Everton win tomorrow. That would be nice. It won't happen, but we'll take any sort of win. Thank you, Amy, for dropping in. Thanks to everyone in the comments and everyone watching and watching back, of course. Please hit the like button for us now. And, of course, subscribe. We're nearly at 2,010 subscribers. I think we need a couple more. We want 5K, but we set baby milestones. We're going to say let's go for 2,500 subscribers so we can get there. I think we deserve it for what we do. Don't you?
Yeah, we're hilarious. Have you met me? I'm comedy gold. Jeff is a ray of sunshine. Mamsie too. You and Jan, nothing but professionalism. And Chris, don't get me started on Chris. Never mind the rest of him. Ryan's entire family joining us on it every week. I didn't even know our families were related. That's wild.
That's quite funny. We will have Chris tonight. He will be live for this watch along, the Premier League watch along. That includes Manchester City versus Arsenal, and a Nottingham Forest game. And are they playing Bournemouth? I can't remember who they're playing, but we will be covering that tonight.
Brighton
It will be
tonight,
Chris.
Forest.
Brighton away at Forest. So
Come
that
on,
will be.
Seagulls.
Come on, the Seagulls. We will be live tonight. I think it might be around 7:15, 7:20 UK time. We will get that scheduled for you. So please drop in, support Chris. If you're watching those games, if you're watching them on television, just mute your TV, put Chris on. You can pause it and make sure the times align. Maybe you want to see it first and then have Chris's reaction, or the other way around. But definitely swap the terrible Sky Sports commentary for Chris's wonderful American commentary, and we might have some other guests on there as well. But also, you'll get coverage of the Forest Brighton game in there as well, which you won't get if you're just watching one stream. We'll do the legwork for you, and you can focus on just watching one match, I suppose, or two. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'll wrap things up now before I get myself twisted. And we'll see you very soon. Thank you so much, Amy. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Just normal men.